So here's what we're going to do. So there's 5 formulas on the board, and we're going to have a look at what ones we're going to use. All right, so we're not doing that. Sorry, go back here. Hey, gents. Okay. For each of the following lines, do the following. Okay, ready? Question 8. I am only going to take one of these. Which one would you like me to take? 1, 2, or 3? Do 3. 3 is usually the hardest, right? Ready? Now, they've already given you, lads, they've already given you the equation of the line. Which formula do you think I'm going to use from that list I gave you? Now, I'd use the slope if I had 2 points. Do I have 2 points? Is there 2 points in this question? So I can't use the slope formula because the slope formula would require me to use this formula here. Does anybody else see another one, lads? Does anybody else see another formula I could use in that list I gave you earlier? There's one of the colored ones. Yes. Mx plus c. Perfect. Now, lads, remember what we said earlier? What comes in front of the m is what? Not 2. A half. What does that mean about the slope? Slope's a half. What's the c value? 0, 4. Is that okay with you guys? Now, you're going to be asked to graph this line. Okay? So you do is you go back, you find yourself some graph paper like so. If you don't have graph paper, I'll give you some at the end of class. Some in my bag. Okay? Squared paper makes your life easy. If you don't have squared paper, it's really difficult. Okay? Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab these 2 lines here like so. Ready? Now, you're going to label your axis. I'll tell you what. You guys only need to draw one of these, and you can put, see the way you'll be doing these 2 parts over the weekend? You can put your 2 lines on the one graph. Does that make sense? Just to save you a bit of work. Now, just give me a bit longer. Now, I'm sorry, mate. I didn't give myself enough space. How do I know I didn't give myself enough space? It's meant to be 0. It's meant to be 0, 4, isn't it? And it's meant to be a slope of a half. So I need to go a bit higher than that. Okay. Now, you find that making these takes the most time. Okay. See the way I put in a gap of 2? Now, where's 0, 4 located, lads? 0, 4? Where is it located? Just here, isn't it? Okay. And how do we do a slope of a half? Is it 1 across 2 up or 2 across 1 up? 2 across 1 up. Okay? Yeah, so do 2 across 1 up, 2 across 1 up, 2 across 1 up, and then all of a sudden, there's your line, isn't it? Everybody cool with that? That's how you graph that type of line. This will be posted up on Google Classroom, so when you're doing question 8 over the weekend, you'll have a clear example of how to do it, so you won't forget. Is that all right? Happy days. Now, let's move on to question 9. Question 9. Question 9 is the same thing. Now, there's one part you won't know how to do. Okay, there is one part that you won't know how to do, and I'll fix that now. Okay, so does everybody, for argument's sake, what's the slope? We're using y equals mx plus c again. What's the slope of this one? The intercept. Is everyone on board with that? Slope of this one. What comes in front of the x? So what's the slope? What's the intercept? What? 0.703. Right. Happy days. Now, where this part really gets us, and the book hasn't covered this yet, which is part of the issue. All right, is to ask for the intersection. Okay, ask for the intersection. Now, do you guys remember doing simultaneous equations last year? Something like this. Something like let me see. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna make this really easy for us, all right? Does anybody remember doing something like this last year? I'm just making up numbers. Does anybody remember doing that? And what would you do with the bottom one to make sure that the y's cancel? You multiply the bottom one by 3, and you get 3x and 3y equals 9 for argument's sake. And then what happens when you add downwards? What happens when you add downwards, lads? 5x, isn't it? What happens to the y's? Cancel. And what happens to the 9's? Add together to give you 18. Then you get 18 over 5. Right? Now, for argument's sake, this question here, which you'll be doing over the weekend, we don't like the fractions. The fractions makes this horrible. So look at this, right? If I bring the 2x over the other side, what happens here? I get minus 2x plus y equals. Would you be happy enough with that? Yeah? Happy enough with that? Okay. I don't like the fractions. Anybody tell me how to get rid of a fraction, please? What can I multiply both sides by? If I multiply both sides by 3, the fractions will disappear. So what happens when I multiply both sides by 3? 3y. What's 3 times 4 over 3? If you're not sure, what do you have on hand? You have a calculator. The answer is 4. What's 3 times minus 7 over 3? What's 3 times minus 7 over 3? Ah, lads, come on. 3 times minus 7 over 3? Minus 7. Okay. Now, lads, what happens when I bring the 4x over the other side? Lads, what happens when I bring the 4 over? Minus 4x, 3y equals minus 7. Now you've solved that simultaneous equation. If you aren't up to date on these, I'll send you examples with the video as well, all right? We all right with that? Okay. So now that's 8, 9, this is 10, all right? Now 10, really simply. I'm not going to do all of 10 because I know we don't need all of 10 done. Are you able to draw the points? Yay or nay? You aren't? Okay, somebody called no, so that's fair enough. So remember, you get a graph and you basically draw your 2 lines. You draw the x and the y axis, and then you plot the points on it. So essentially this. Is that okay? And then 2, 2 would be, sorry, 2, 2 would be 2 across 2 up. Minus 4, 6 would be 4 to the left, and how many up? 6 blocks up. So would you know how to draw it? Yeah. Or down if it's if that was minus 4 and minus 8, that's 4 to the left and 8 down. So negative means left in the first one, and if it's negative on the second one, it means down. Okay, would everybody be happy drawing those points on a graph? Okay, would everybody be happy and able to use the midpoint formula? Do you remember it's on your list, the midpoint formula? Okay, once you find the midpoint formula, are you all capable of using the distance formula twice? So let me give you an example, right? The midpoint formula, when you do it, will look like this. The midpoint formula will be, I'll do it in my head, give me a second. That's the midpoint, okay? Now, what does AC mean? What does AC with 2 vertical lines mean? Find the distance of A to C. Does everyone know how to do that? You use the distance formula. Does everyone know how to find the distance of C to B? No. The 2 lines. The 2 lines means use the distance formula. It means verify that the distance AC equals the distance CB. Is that right? And you're using the distance formula we had at the start class. Lads, keep with me. Stop packing. 2 minutes left. Nextly, slope of AB. What formula are you going to use? Slope formula. And do you have 2 points you can use? Yeah, you're going to use point A and point B. Now, this is where it gets tough. Find the coordinates of the point AB when it cuts the y-axis. Well, what could you do? What happens if I just link the two of these together? I can actually observe where it hits the x-axis and where it hits the y-axis, can't I? So I can actually use my graph to answer that question. Does that make sense? So I would hope that you're all, and we've already graphed that, haven't we? So happy days. So you are well capable of doing this question this weekend, aren't you? So you're doing questions 8, 9, and 10, and I'm going to add something extra onto Google Classrooms as well. Put in your journal 8, 9, and 10, and you're also going to, and then it'll be on, this will be on Google Classroom. Have a good weekend, lads, okay?